Hey everybody, welcome back to part 4 of this series of Adobe Premiere for beginners. So what this episode's going to be about is actually a little more in-depth of editing and to show you some little features that are going to become useful to you as we go on with our next step, okay? So let's start with a new project and we'll just name this, just name this demo 10, we'll say, okay, just for the sake of argument. And we've gone through this in previous video, and we've also gone through our workspace in previous video and a few other things, what these are and so forth. Okay, so we're just going to get right started. I'm just going to bring some stuff in here. Okay, so I'm just going to bring in, we'll say that. Okay, so we've selected all those clips, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring these in individually, okay? And we're just going to place them just at random points on the lines here and stuff like that. So what else we got here? Got this here. I'll put that one down there, and then this one up here maybe. Okay, so we're just making random points. There's no rhyme or reason to this, okay? Now, what I want to show you is for starting with some basic editing. I don't use this much because I just prefer to do everything down here with my right clicks and whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever's in my menus and so forth. But you can just double click or drag up if you want, and you can set timelines on things if you choose to. So for example, I could start here, and this would be an in marker, and then this is starting it here, and it's still going to the end by the gray bar. But if I want to shorten this and let's say an out marker, it now just contains this section in a clip, and you can take this and drag it in there, and it'll only be this section of the clip. You see how it's just that section? So we're not going to drag it in though. So basically you can use the source monitor here for that right now, and your source monitor is also going to be for your effect controls and stuff like that, right? So there's buttons down here too, by the way. We'll go into those later on in more intermediate stuff, but for now you don't really need this source monitor for much. I mean, as a beginner I'm saying. So, and this just gives you your quality basically. So, and you can mark timelines too by this, or you also got these settings here too, which will allow you to do little things too if you want in the future, but we'll get to that in more of an intermediate video. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, whoops, we're not going to hit that. We're going to look at this, and you can see it's you can see it's just a bunch of clips, just random. It doesn't make much sense together the way it is right now, but we're pretending that this is the way I want it, okay? So here's the beauty of what Adobe Premiere can do for you. You can actually select all these, or if you really choose to, you can hold down the shift key and whoops, and you can start clicking everything to hold it at once. Type this. See, it's so thin it's hard to get it, but I prefer to do the drags. It's a lot easier and faster. Okay, so but for the sake of example, we're going to, remember in the last video I showed you what a cut is here, so let's do this. I'm just going to do that, then we're going to highlight that, right click and clear, and we're going to move that over. Okay, now you're probably wondering, oh man, but I want everything else to move with it too. There is a way to do that, but that is going to be in our next step video, like maybe a next one or a few from now. But right now we're just going to learn just to do that for our demonstration in this video, or demo or whatever. Okay, so now we're just going to do that, and we're going to say, okay, that's how I want it, blah blah blah. It showed up. Okay, so now we got all highlighted. Now what you can do here is, this is what the beauty of it is, you can right click and we can go what we call make a subsequence. So we're going to do that, and what that's going to do is it's going to make a subsequence here, which is all this now in one video, as you can see here. So as you see now, it's just one actual video. So, but let me tell you something, this is just a reference to these which is a reference now to what's on my hard drive. So these are from the hard drive, and this is reference to this, which is the hard drive really. So now what we want to really do here is usually we want to right click, and we're going to make a new sequence from the clip, okay? And now we've got a different tab up here. So there's our first one, there's our second one, so forth, okay? So why do we want to do this? Well, because when you have stuff like this, you have to individually do a lot of edits. Like I want to colorize this, or I want to colorize this one, or whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you're editing, okay? So let's say we do got a little bit of tweaks and final edits, but now I want to edit. There's an edit like a color correction, for example, a fast color correction. I want to colorize something, but I want it all to be colorized at the same time. So instead of have to individually clip it, if you're using something for everything, you got this, and there you go. You know what I mean? So now I could hit an effect if I want here. Remember, arrow, we go to effects if it doesn't show. So let's, like I said, you know, you just want to do, I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just for the sake of argument, right? So we'll just say I don't know, we'll just say the color balance here or something like that. So I was going to drag this in per se, right? So now I'll be able to do a color balance with the entire clip instead of have to individualize it. You understand what I'm getting at, right? So that's what the beauty of subclips are. So I suggest you just use them if you need be. Get used to them. Like when you make a little edit here, make a subclip now, you know, and then make a new sequence like I showed you, and you can keep doing that. And then if you want, you can actually go up to here now when we're done, say I got a bunch of subsequence or just the one, whatever I want to do. You can trim it too, you can do whatever you want basically with it, just like anything else. So, but now we're going to go up to export. I want to go to media, and there we go. I have it on this, the H64, but here you can choose a number of codecs you might want to put it to, you know what I mean? Depending on what you got going on in there, right? So you can, if it was just audio, you could do this, or I could do AVI if I want. You can do AVI uncompressed, but I always use this for the most part, which is a good standard and compression scheme type thing for everything. So I'm just going to choose that, and you have some different presets now. So I always match source high bitrate, and Adobe Premium Pro is really good at matching what you got in there to its best of its ability anyways, but it's pretty good. So the thing is about when you export things too, you can change the settings. Like for example, I have a video, as you can see, it's a 15 frame rate video, right? Because it's just from a standard little webcam or whatever. But if I really wanted to, I could actually change this frame rate to the 29 if I wanted, or 30 frame rate. You can do all that, and I mean, and then test it out. Does it look better? Does it look good? Did it degrade? Does it make it look funny, sound funny? A lot of times no, sometimes yeah. So it all depends on your work and things. You got to experiment with different files, different codecs, but you'll get used to this eventually through trial and error, trust me. I know. And in here now, you can select here, and this is where it's basically going to save everything. So we can put in here where I've put other stuff or whatever, and you know, name it whatever you want, like 11111 is my name or something. No, whatever you want to do, okay? So then you can come down here. You're going to have things in here, but we're not going to worry too much about what's down in here, because this is pretty well where you're going to want everything anyways. Just more or less stay the same until you get more advanced with the program to actually understand what you might be changing here, because it's not going to make a difference for much right now, I'm sure that you're doing. But anyways, in the video, so because I chose match source bitrate, it's going to match everything and make it what it can to the matching, okay? So no settings in here will be changed, but if you did choose something else per se, like the AVI or whatever, see how now I can come in here and change things based on different stuff, but let's try, oh, just for jokes. I've actually never tried that, but I don't know what it's going to do. But do you see how it shows another codec? So if I really wanted to change this, I could. Or I can select to maintain the frame rate if you want. And you see how now it changed to 2997, so like the 30 frame rate basically instead. So you can do stuff like that, but I don't want to do that. So where did I have that? Right there. That's on DV, yeah. So if basically this is United States, North American standard type thing, or Canada, this is more or less a European thing, okay? So it differs from 60 frame rates per second. They use 50. We use 30 type thing. They use the 29 per se. Whatever, you know what I mean? Like the differences or whatever. Just like with the cameras, what do we use in the film industry? 24 with Hollywood film, they use 25 frames per, you know what I mean? It's just silly stuff. But it doesn't really matter anyways, because the only thing that might affect it is when you have monitors and stuff like that in the room that you're filming. That might be the thing that'll pop up because of a fresh rate of a monitor. It might cause these like lines and stuff in the film, but nothing to worry about. So anyways, let's continue. So we're going to leave everything like it is because that's quality, and it's at 16:9, which is the ratio for most things these days that people use with YouTube or, you know, whatever. It's just the best ratio I find for things too. But and you can change it. Like, hey, you want to do stuff like that and experiment just to see what it does, go nuts. It's not going to hurt anything. So now we can render at maximum depth. I always use this because I want to try to get the best things possible out. So we can just leave everything else here. Don't worry so much about the advanced settings or whatever. I was thinking it wasn't letting me close it there. Okay, so we'll just leave that like that. I'm not going to worry about optimizing the stills right now, but what we are going to do is we're going to use maximum render quality, okay? And that's pretty well about it as far as all we got to do. But like I said, the codecs, these are all different type of what it's going to come out to. So it'll come out as whatever 111.avi, which is like, you know, Windows Media Player or something. And then this is going to be an MP4, the one I chose. This is a popular codec that people use now. If I had different things, I could do JPEG. You can even do, this is sort of like this, but more or less machine related and all that stuff, card related. But don't worry about that now. But like I said, you know, you got different stuff here you can try out and test out. But like I said, most people are going to be using this, or probably these days for doing beginner stuff, especially, you know, out there, because we all use MP3 or MP3s when we use MP3s, but MP4 I should say for video and stuff. Okay, so there we go. I just suggest you experiment around with that, but like I said, well, don't want that. Let's put that back there. Almost forgot. Oh, there, you know, actually, if you look, see how it made a difference between what the codec's going to do with the sizes and so forth. You see, it's already making a difference. So I'm going to keep it there, and because I want to match what I'm doing. And then how I showed you everything already, we want to come back down here, render, because it's erased it now that I switched. We're going to hit that. I suggest you do a VBR2 pass. They're better, okay? This is more or less set by default, so you can make your own target if you want, depending on what your film is. What I suggest is the clip, just right click it, go to properties and look at the details to see what frame rates and so forth and bit rates and stuff are, because then you can kind of get a better idea what this should be. But I'm just going to leave this here by default anyways, and see what happens, see if it is able to target it. It should be able to, it might not, but it's nothing to worry about too much, as long as it plays well and you can upload it fine. There's not issues, you know what I mean. But you know, you'll learn more about this as we go along anyways. Like I said, I don't want to throw too much in your head at once. Okay, so now we're going to hit export, but I'm not hitting it right because you could hit Q, but I'm not going to go through the Q right now because I'm not going to add it to a media encoder. I do have media encoder, but I'm not going to use that right now because it's really just one file. I'm rendering. The thing about media encoders, you can put multiples in there and you can change them around too, but this basically is doing what the encoder and media encoder is going to do. It's kind of the same thing, just manual, and we're doing it by, because we only have one video. Okay, so don't worry about that right now. And you can do the metadata thing too if you want. You can add different stuff on there, rights management, and this will be saved with it too, but I'm not too worried about that. Okay, so now we're just going to hit export, and that's it. And what it's going to do now, it's going to render the sub clip obviously for me, so it's just going to do a 2-pass thing here. Okay, so it's going to go up to 50%, which will be 1 pass, and then another 50% that'll be 2 pass. Okay, so that's really about it for the video. I'm just going to leave it here. So when you're done, it's obviously going to be where you save the file, because I showed you where that, when you named it, where it saves it. So you've got, you know, that's your decision where you want to go, and save it, and then that's it. You can go check it out, and it'll be whatever the codec was played out. Check it out, make sure it looks okay, and that's it. So that's basically it for this video of editing. I just wanted to show you how subclips work, because it's one of the things when I first started out, I'm thinking, man, how do I just put this in one word? I've got to render it and so forth, and that's how you do it. Okay, so I hope this helps. Might be a little long, but I just want to try to make everything clear and concise as we talk. So if you got any questions or comments about this section of the video, definitely write it out, and let's see what we can get for answers. Okay, you guys take care, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Oh yeah, and if you haven't subscribed, hey, subscribe, it helps. See you later. Bye bye.